Don't know if you can hear the rain. It's been coming down pretty solidly for 2 days, it seems like. Anyway, hello goblins. It's Chris, Eldritch Pipes. It's an episode of this week's Pipes. I'm smoking some Tilbury. God, it's good. It amazes me, to think that maybe even as little as 5 years ago, I wouldn't have appreciated this blend. And now, it's like my go-to. I was smoking some Dunbar recently. That's really good. Not quite as good as Tilbury, but it is really good. Kind of lament that all the tobaccos that I really like are all the ones that are hard to get hold of. It's, hey, life is like that, I guess. But, funny week, on Sunday, had a bit of an online pipe meetup with Aidan, of H Pipes, Chris Ferraby, who is a pipe commissioner. Well, it's just he's all over the shop. He's a grand commissioner of pipes. Usually the same pipe, what we refer to as a 4-round, which is a panelled billiard, 4-panelled billiard with a round shank. And he loves them. He loves them. Chris Shaw was there. And another chap I hadn't met before. Anyway, part way through that, well, for a couple of weeks now, my internet has been really dodgy. It's never been super great, but it was getting really dodgy. And certainly last week, it went from dodgy to terrible. I only survived in the meeting for about 20 minutes, something like that, and then my internet crapped out. Steph finally had enough of it. She'd had enough of it. Because she works from home. She works for the county council here. Well, as part of she works part of the library service. But she works from home, so she needs an reliable internet connection. And so she'd had enough of it. Finally contacted Virgin. They sent an engineer around and confirmed that our our router was dodgy. The wiring was dodgy, connecting it from the wall, and the end connecting to the router was dodgy. And he checked the wiring at the exchange, the junction box at the end of our road. He said that was dodgy too, so we've got a new router, new wiring, and we've just had solid good internet ever since. So that's kind of amazing. Also, because the boy is getting more and more into his weird mystery sort of media, I played him the HPLHS's The Whisper in Darkness. I had to play him that first before the Call of Cthulhu, because Whisper in Darkness has sound and has people speaking, where it's black and white, but Call of Cthulhu is not a talkie, it's a silent movie, so that's an even harder sell on a 13-year-old boy. But watched The Whisper in Darkness and he loved it. I went running for my Necronomicon and started reading some books from that, so that's job well done as far as I'm concerned. But at the weekend, just yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I guess technically that's Friday, but it's summer holidays here. Every day is of the weekend. I thought he'd like The Sixth Sense, so he watched The Sixth Sense. And I was like this, waiting for the punch at the end of the film. And man, it blew his mind. That was amazing. He really liked the film as well. But what a twist. If you don't see it coming, it's like a hammer to the head. Very cool. Well, pipe making this month is going to be very interesting. I, as a pipe maker, I make pipes. My normal way of working is I make pipes in the week. One of them is a commission usually. And towards the end of the week I post them up for sale, and then on this video. And I usually sell what I make, frankly. But I've got a pipe show coming up in October. So for a pipe maker like me, I have to start thinking about it about now. And it leaves me in a bit of a quandary, because in order to have pipes for the pipe show, it means I kind of have to stop selling pipes. It's very weird, but that's just the way it is. So, kind of leaves me in this position. What do I do with my this week's pipes video? I can show you that I've made them, and they're not sold, but I also can't sell them yet. But the only other alternative is to not do the video, and then that doesn't seem quite right neither. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'm literally just deciding this now. I'll do my normal video, and then I'll do after the show, because let's face it, in the UK, I'm probably going to sell only a couple of pipes at the show. That's just life here. And then I'll have a video where I've got a glut of pipes available, and that'll make a good video. So that'll do it like that. But anyway, let's have a look at this week's pipes. Two of them are for a commission set, which I might explain. But before I get to those, I got another one that's not part of that set. It is, of course, a strawberry. A strawberry. I suppose it is a kind of a plump acorn, but it's an acorn with strawberry. Really nice. This one is. I wanted to do a version where just the stem was the flashy colour bit, and that meant the pipe had to be black. And it's going to be pretty cool anyway. Some nice grain on it. Made a nice little medium blast. Had some funky plateau on the top. I have taken to giving it a bit more of a belly on this side. Just in the last couple, I think. Just giving it a bit of more of a belly. Is that it? Belly? Technical term? You can see it's just got it all sort of going on. Just nice sort of cross hatching. but the straight grain and the ring grain are kind of go as deep as each other. So you get this like really nice sort of like cross-hatching kind of effect. That gives you an idea of the cragginess of the plateau there. And it's obviously Red Cumberland. Well, my Red Cumberland. This is now like the second stem down from my rod. I've been trying to make the rods a little bit more consistent. So I've been having to tweak the densities, and it's looking like it's coming out quite well. In an old version of this rod, even this one wouldn't have that much red in it, and it would be quite speckled, so quite finely detailed. As you can see, it's broader detailed here, and this is just the second stem in the rod. So, yeah, very nice. An acorn. I think I'll be making at least one acorn every week this month in order to try and have enough for the show. It'll be interesting actually. I think at the last show I didn't have any acorns. I think I had some reading pipes and a horn. I had a snail. I can't remember what else I had. But again, I sold about 3 at the show. And then the ones that I had left, I put them on a video, and then they all sold like within like 2 days. Most of them sold on the first night. Now, these two, right. Part of a set for a chap who, Travis, I made the mistake of calling him Trevor in one video. I'll probably never forget it, never live it down. But Travis, we kind of met over pipes and magic. And so he wanted a set of magic pipes. And what that is in Magic, the Gathering, it's a card game, there's 3 colours. What am I talking about? 5 colours. It represents the mana base that you can use to purchase your cards, pay for them. And so there's black, white, which is swamp and plains, blue, which is islands, red, which is mountains, and green, which is forest. So, this is the first 2, and it's black and blue. Now, I'll do the black one first. For black, we went with the Slenderman shape. And, yeah. I've never done an all-black Slenderman, because if I've done a black stummel, I've usually done some kind of funky coloured stem. But actually, now that I've done it all black, I was like, that's actually pretty cool. Look how wide the ring grain is here. It was crazy to me. I don't think I've ever seen ring grain in such wide bands before. I was blasting away and going, what's going on here? But it's got these wide bands. It's a nice look. It's like mentally craggy plateau. Look at that. Which makes me very happy. The more unruly and chaotic, the better. Again, you can see like, yeah, it's just like these quite wide bands for the ring grain. Crazy. And then black stem. So, very happy with this guy. Black has a strong association with death and destruction, which I suppose is not surprising. There you go. The Slender Man was kind of like a fitting shape for that theme. Right, and then we did blue. I spent a lot of time thinking about this one because I really wanted the pipe to be blue, but blue is a really bad colour to try and stain a pipe. Briar is natural colour is yellowy orange. You put blue on top of that, it starts to go green. There are things you can do. I'm going to put this down. You can bleach the briar. It's possible. It's not a technique I've ever gone in for, but I had other options. One possible option was I could have metal leafed the pipe. And in fact, I bought the supplies to do it with, because you can buy coloured silver leaf. And it's a very nice colour. But I was worried that it would mute the sandblast. So staining blue was out. Doing blue metal leaf was out. So I turned to my, if you've ever seen my iridescent look, I turned to that technique, but with a different thing, so with a different pigment. So I went with cobalt blue, and I'll show you. There's some other bit on it as well. I mean, before we talk about anything else, I mean, I was just, look at the lovely, lovely ring grain on it. So yeah. So this is cobalt blue. And the other thing that I did was, so in Magic, blue has a strong association obviously with water, but also with wizards. Watery wizards, I guess, is the thing. Somebody who was like more deeply into the lore could tell you a lot more about blue, but that's a lot where it's at. So the other thing that I wanted to do was, along with the blue, was add some sparkle. Just sparkle on the rim. Now, obviously, a pipe like this isn't for everybody, but what I really liked was that it just, like, the finish, in fact, accentuates the blast, I think. Just because just because of the nature of it. It sort of like has higher highlights and deeper shadows. So it just really catches light that helps with just showing off the blast. It's a reading pipe, obviously. So it's 7.5 inches long with like a 2-inch chamber on it. You can see this time the plateau isn't too wild, but it's quite dense because the grain was quite tight, and that gets reflected in the nodes on the plateau. The smaller and tighter the grouping of the nodes, that's like the tighter the grain is. And I paired it with my blue Cumberland. There you go. That's those two. They're good. And obviously, if you do want a pipe with glitter on, it can be done. I do believe it may have stopped raining. Yeah. All right. That's it for me. I will be back next week, bar misfortunes occurring. But until then, everyone, take it very easy. Your loyal pipe maker.